What's going on, YouTube? Chris here with Cali Moto TV. We're finishing up doing I wanted to do a behind the scenes. I wanted to show you all what it's like to try to film with the Osmo Pocket 3, have another vehicle involved, and really just show you what goes into it, because it is not easy. It is far from easy. I mean, heck, the bike right now is the shop's V4S, so now I gotta take it back because we're running out of time. But we're gonna show you setup. I'm gonna show you the mic setup that I have on the helmet. Not right now, I actually took it all off because it was frustrating, but I'll show you why. Yeah, come along. Let me show you what it's like to try to make a cool video with only just you and one other person. I know there's other stuff out there, and it is not as simple as you might think. Anyways, let's have some fun. Fuck. Follow me. Lock on me. Come on. For whatever reason, the camera decided to lock on fucking over there. Ah, this thing. Oh, Jesus. What the fuck? So this is incredibly difficult to do. I know that there's videos out there saying you can do a one-person shoot, but without someone using that camera in the passenger seat, it's incredibly frustrating. Like, look where that's facing right now. It's barely even pointed at me. I tried the dynamic one and it just aimed at the side of the freaking hill. So there's definitely a pretty decent learning curve out here with this Pocket 3, Osmo Pocket 3 camera. Its uses though, like especially in a car and you have one or two more people, fantastic. There's some spots on the bike I really like. So you want to see what behind the scenes of trying to film looks like? This is what we're looking at. You got cars around us, you know, the nature's around us. You're in very different lighting every single turn. This is the nature trying to make a cool video, and it's not easy, especially with stuff that you might not have used before. Like, this is the first time using this camera on the back of the Jeep, and right now it actually looks like it's you know, working well. But I tell you what, the mic setup that I had, wildly frustrating, overkill. So here's the setup we're going to use on the bike right now. The Mic 2 receiver, transmitter. I have the internal mic plugged in, so I have a lav mic plugged into this guy. We're going to test it out along with some other stuff. Check this setup out because it is kind of nuts. We'll see how good the audio is though. But I just wanted to see, when I actually get back in there and edit the video, we'll see how much better that audio sounds because it's got that 32-bit float. So there's a lot more range in that particular setup. And I think it'll help with some clipping and some of the harsher audio you normally get while riding. Would I use it all the time? I don't know. I have to find a little more secure way of mounting the receiver. Because the button on the Action or the Ace Pro 2 is hard to get without the case on it to begin with, and then you add the case and everything else around it, it just becomes a fumbly mess. This isn't easy. It takes a lot of effort. I wrote my wife into this, who's got work herself to do, so the last thing I want her to have to do is be out here stuck with me doing silly shit like this. But yeah, what do we think of this Osmo Pocket 3? You know, like I said, the headaches aside, if you can set up something at a decent time and things go right for you, this works great. I see why people do the highway so often, because it's just wide open. It's easier, but I don't know, I think the scenery is cooler. We'll see how everything goes, see if I can not get rear-ended here. Oh god. That is not a good place to stop, but it's for her to find out. So if you're ever thinking about filming, there's a couple of things you got to consider. One, the environment, time of day. Those two things are kind of the main points. If it's a busier part of the day, it's going to be a lot harder to film in these single lane roads than it will be, you know, earlier in the morning when it's not quite as busy, especially if it's on a weekend, or, you know, if you've had bad weather for a couple days and then, like, say today's your first nice day, you can bet it's going to be obnoxious to film. The other thing, again, is the environment. It's nice and cool today, but like colder weather, it's going to make it harder, especially if you have certain mounts you want to put on there. You got to think about that. Hotter weather as well. I pointed out with the V4R, the adhesive started to, well, the adhesive started to break down a little bit, got a little mushy. So you got to kind of factor that in. You also got to think about where you're going, the route. You know, I picked a very direct route because it's easier for people to not get lost and not miss turns. Because I know these roads really well. The person that's driving might not. So you got to really kind of find places that don't jump out at them and make them miss turns. Pre-plan as well. Have a little sit down with, if you got a lead car or chase car, you know, sit down with them, tell them the route, tell them all of what you expect to do. The other thing is, if you're filming with a vehicle in front and you don't have comms with them, you got to give them very explicit details. Like, I told my wife, I'm going to be close, I want you to stay at a consistent speed, don't worry about me, I'm paying attention to everything in front and around. I'm like, but if there's something you see that is going to be a problem, give me like a double or a triple tap of the brake. And what I mean by that is just kind of tap it and show the brake lights that they flash, and they give you an indication like, hey, something's going on, back off. And little communications like that prior to going out are kind of paramount to your safety, period. Success is, when you're filming, is just nothing bad happens, right? And then hopefully you get some great content and footage to go along with it. But I mean, you see the trials and tribulations. Like I said, things are going to happen, weird stuff, tricky things, traffic, stuff in the road, gear not working as planned. You know, it's just going to happen. And when you have these like one take type environments where, like, say you only get a one shot on a bike like this, you want it all to go right, So you got to kind of figure out, like, when you're editing, if it didn't go quite right, what you could do to still use the footage and make a cool video. So we're taking this bike back to Onimoto. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Let me know. Leave me comments down below. What sort of trials and things have you found while filming your cool videos? Let me know. Also, if you have any questions that you'd like to have answered about the methods in which I film things. I know some of these videos haven't been overly dramatic and cinematic in nature because they just been kind of run-of-the-mill clinical type reviews, and that's fine. Some of them were like that. Like I said, I'm trying to get back into some cooler type of videos, stuff that I'm enjoying creatively. But yeah, if you have questions, leave them down below. Leave them comments. And if you're new to the channel, you know, subscribe. Or if you've been around for a while and haven't subscribed, subscribe. While that doesn't really affect how this channel does, the subscriptions, it's still nice to see that people are wanting to engage for the long term. And yeah, it's a good time. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.